Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Coasternet Update. We've got some breaking news out of Sandusky, Ohio, and Santa Claus, Indiana, where we've gotten two big announcements today from both Cedar Point and Holiday World. All, I believe, for Jeff, the 25th birthday of Coasternet. So thank you guys for announcing two huge rides today. Today is our 25th birthday, August 1st. We are 25 years old here at Coasternet. Started way back in 1998. And for our birthday present, they gave us two roller coasters. And I have to say, Jeff, I'm gonna be very honest. We are setting new standards for names of roller coasters today, are we not?
It doesn't live up to Volcano the Blast Coaster.
No, it does not. I would take Volcano the Blast Coaster at this point, though. Let's start with Top Thrill 2. Jeff, I think the big question is has the Cedar Point website been hacked?
No, that's it. That's it.
So we're done with that now. We're done with the Cedar Point website being hacked. We're done with that completely. Obviously, this is the ride now that that was leaked this past weekend, all the way up until the name. The name.
I really thought that was a placeholder, but
I thought it was a placeholder too. It made sense to be a placeholder, but no, it was not a placeholder. That is the name. I like the guy in the video with the helmet though. The helmet looked really cool. Kind of reminiscent of like a space theme. That would have been cooler, but whatever. I'm gonna get over it. Let's talk about the ride just a little bit. There's not a whole lot. You didn't get to really talk about it. There's not a whole lot new that we don't already know. 74, 101, 120. Those are the three launches. As expected, the world's fastest and tallest triple launch coaster. Asterisk. Just keep throwing them just keep throwing on the prepositional phrases at the end of your records. That's cool. But we finally see what the launches look like. So what do you think of the launches themselves?
I mean, it's given us a lot more than I thought. So it's nice to be surprised instead of disappointed. I hope that people weren't disappointed that it wasn't a world record height and speed, record, but it's bigger than we thought. Where basically we're going to have a little symmetry between the two sides. The duration of the ride will now be 2 minutes instead of like 20 seconds. So
17 seconds. 17 seconds is the official number.
So that's quite a bit longer. And just operationally, I think you missed it in the other one. It's going to have 20 riders per train, and they will have 3 trains. So hopefully they can run all 3 of them at the same time.
So it does look like it's launched. So from the animations, we got a little bit, and you can. I feel like with Cedar Point, you can kind of trust their animations as opposed to with RMC. Sometimes they do funky things with their animations. But if you kind of piece things together with this one, it looks like you're launching out of the shell, which is a really far launch when you think about it, because if you think about where Dragster launched from before, it was way up by the grandstands, up a lot further. Now it looked like it was launching from the shell. I don't know for sure. I could be wrong about that. It does not look like it's going all the way up the hill the first time, though. So it's not going to be a true rollback, which I thought was going to be a big selling point for this ride. It looks like it goes up at least half the way up the hill. Does even get to the first spiral. I'll be honest, I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up people's asses. I'm going to say that is a little bit of a disappointment for me when I saw that I thought that 74 mile an hour launch might have been pushed up on the track to get you up a little bit further up that hill. Now, granted, it's still probably going to be a pretty good spike. Like if you like spikes of that nature and a good fall back, you're still going to be falling back 200 or so feet, I would assume, even if you went up halfway the track. And then you're going to get that 101 launch backwards. No airtime hills anywhere to be seen here. I think that may have been a missed opportunity a little bit because you're already using that time and doing this launch sequence. So putting an airtime hill wasn't going to add in any ride time, but would have added a lot of fun, I think. And then you go up that spike that's also 420. The paint job looks pretty cool. It's going to mirror the paint job on the top hat with the red and white stripes or colored sections, I should say. And then you're going to do the full lap like you used to. So overall, I think it's kind of when people first heard Dragster was closing, I think it's kind of what people thought was going to happen, right? That a lot of people thought they were just going to put new trains on it, put an LSM launch. So now you're actually adding this 420-foot spike, which is going to be really, really tall, in my opinion, especially at that part of the park. And you're going to get a little bit more. You're going to get a 2-minute ride cycle. So, right?
Yeah, I mean I think the biggest takeaway is that it's not going to be a short ride anymore. So if that was your complaint, that complaint disappears.
Yeah.
I like the impulse coasters. I mean, like when I go to Dorney, I always ride Possessed. I rode V2 when we went to Chicago. I actually think that they're more fun on the way up because, like, as they
Oh
start to
yeah.
slow down, you get like a lot of cool float. So I mean, if it's
Which
400,
also makes sense of why you got rid of Wicked Twister, because by doing this with Dragster, Wicked Twister almost becomes redundant at some point. I know the spikes twisted and spiraled, and that's another thing I wish I would have seen on the back here. There's a lot of things I wish I would have seen, but a lot of that talk was high-minded, pie in the sky type stuff. But like you said, the impulse coasters are always really fun. Now you get that experience, but also a big drop too on the other side.
yeah, I mean, you still get the twist down, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, we were trying to be more realistic with the spike, and then added that fun twist to it, and it ended up that the spike was huge and no twist. But
And let me be honest too. I never thought, people are like, well, why aren't you taking the spike up, 475 feet or whatever? I never thought, and I've been over this when people in comments and been on like our Patreon group chat. I've been talking about this a lot. I would have not counted that as a height record. That I did not. No one. I don't recall anyone counting Magic Mountain as the tallest roller coaster in the world when it went over 300 feet. And I was still early
Salt
on.
Scramble.
That what?
Neither with Moonsault Scramble. I mean, they were
Exactly. Like nobody counted these things. So putting a spike on the back would not have put it, for me, into a height record. Not that that means anything. Now, however, if you would have mirrored the top hat, which I just talked to you about before the show here, the only way I think you could have realistically captured the height record, you're already doing a 420-foot spike. You could have put a top hat on that side as well. And you could have had 2 top hats on both sides, one at 420, one at 460. And you could have gone over on both sides, launched the same sequence, launch up the hill on the old side, launch back up the hill on the new side, launch forward again over the hill, and then launch again over the hill again. And then you would have had a record-breaking roller coaster, kind of like a shuttle coaster that just goes in a circle, which, whatever. But I would have counted that as a height record, and that would be an easy way to capture it. That's not what happened here, though. So why am I talking about it?
And a record-breaking electricity bill. But
seriously, it would have been. That's a lot of launches. That'd be a quadruple launch coaster, is what that would.
New record.
A new record. The world's fastest and tallest quadruple launch roller coaster. But actually, would have been if you went 460. Then you're capturing that height record by a good 4 feet until Falcon's flight opens up.
Right. So the trains look pretty standard, but they kind of remind me a lot of the new style Intamin trains. So like if you have ridden like Pantheon, or if you're in Europe and you've gone on some of those other where it comes down over, but it's not a but
like
it's
the good old like Mac Rides does that now. Intamin does that now. There's there's a whole bunch of them that do that style of coaster.
And they're both good, so hopefully this one's good too.
Yeah. So and then just trying to, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot going on in the area. I know I'm on some of my CP CP Insiders group. They're on Facebook. But they were commenting in the video that Corkscrew in the video has a white train, and there is no white train currently on Corkscrew. So they're like, is that an error or is that something else? It's an error probably, but whatever.
Probably. Yeah.
So overall, I think we got what we were expecting this past weekend. Even from our show that we were doing the first time around, we got a little bit taller spike on the back. We said it might have been like around 200. Now it's going to be double that's 420. So that's a sizable spike. It's going to be a good drop. So you get that drop, you get the second drop, plus you get the half drop. So you're getting 2 drops of over probably 300, 350 feet. And then you're getting 1 drop, probably sitting around 200 feet would be my guess. off of that first launch. So overall, you know what? And I said this to my people too on the Patreon group chat. I said, Dragster to me has always served one purpose. And it was an amazing launch. It was a fun thrill going down. But the biggest purpose has always served to me is stacking a 3-hour line of people so that I can go ride and walk on everything else in the park. That has always been the purpose of Dragster to me. Is less Val Raven's going to benefit from this because Val Raven's no longer going to have a 45-minute line, I think, which I don't know why it did ever to begin with. Hopefully Maverick's line drops a little bit. Maverick's been carrying full queues the last few years. I'm just like, what's going on here? Vengeance has been carrying full queues. And I just feel that Dragster's going to pull a lot of these people and put them into a line for 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever. And it's going to make my experience better at the park. So that's what I'm happy about.
But will it give
Top
you
Thrill 2 is back.
Top Thrill 2?
But T3 maybe. I don't know.
Is Top Thrill 2 a new credit?
Oh, Jesus. Oh. It's getting so messy now. It's getting messy. Is Lightning Rod a new credit? I don't even know anymore what's going on. I did not count Rougarou as a new credit.
This is giving you something very different. It's
giving us different. We're adding the spike. So it's adding a spike and new experiences all around. I counted New Hulk as a new credit because I felt like they knocked it down and cloned it right where it was. So when they rebuilt Hulk at Universal, I did count that as a new credit. I'm gonna lean towards maybe yes as a new credit. This is one where I'm not gonna sit there and be like, no, you're a fool for counting this as a new credit. Like Danny Miller counts Ruger as a new credit, and I think he's a credit whore. So the people that are gonna count this as a new credit, I'm not going to look down upon that, and I might be one of them too. So
I think it makes more sense to call it a new ride than Hulk, actually, just because it is so different.
It is. Well, it's never been, because then you run into the argument. Well, if I ride Batman here and I ride Batman there, what's the difference of the ride? Is when you start.
It's here and there, man. Don't squash that. You're going to ruin this.
Oh my God! Well, I'm just saying that once you start getting into, well, it's the same ride. It's a very. I could do a whole series, and I've contemplated doing a whole series on what is and is not a new credit. And you can disagree with me. I might do the series one day. I've always considered doing a short 5-minute episode, series of what is a credit, what is not a credit, and what do I count as credits. It'd be very interesting because there's a lot to talk about. So let's move on to something else. Let's move on to the other. Spikes are in the game now. We kind of said that everybody loves spikes all of a sudden. And
Holiday World was like, hold my gravy.
Right. And we got Good Gravy in another fine name of a roller coaster. Good Gravy at Holiday World. Now, this one was not very much a surprise that if you've been watching, not us, we haven't really covered it very much, but other places kind of, we saw shipping records and stuff out going to Santa Claus, Indiana, and it was a Vekoma. It is a shuttle family boomerang shuttle coaster. Cool that Vekoma is building something in America. I think maybe that's the news here, that we haven't really, have we seen a Vekoma in America?
Well, yeah, the Big Bear Mountain and
that's right.
So whatever, the Dragon Flyer they put.
That's true. We begin a lot of family coasters out of
family stuff. Big. We haven't seen a big one yet.
So I know Danny just rode Let Coaster the other day and really liked it. So Vekoma seemingly getting its feet wet here in America still. So it's what you would expect. Some stats: 37 miles an hour, 1,500 feet of track. It looks like they're theming out that whole area. They're using the old Pilgrim's Plunge building to kind of house the launch or the station. It's a launch, right? Is it a launch? I don't know. Or is it a hill?
No, it's a launch.
It's a launch. Okay, I'm not crazy because I'm like, I watched the video. I don't remember seeing a hill. So it's a launch. So they're using the old Pilgrim's Plunge area to get this all built in. It looks like it's highly themed. We got cans of cranberry sauce you go through. There's a whole new little play area. There's some bottles of stuff in the back, ketchup maybe in the back, some chickens. So they're theming out the area. It also looks, based on, I don't know, but based on the announcement video, It looks like they're continuing the story of Gobbler Getaway and maybe putting a grandpa animatronic in there. That'd be really cool if they did. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, like they do have that building, so I guess there's still like a little mystery to
Well, there's kind
all
of
the
parts in
renderings
the
are from
video.
outside. Yeah.
There are parts in the video that looked like a queue line and looked like there might be a little area with a television and a rocking chair for grandpa animatronic to be in there. I don't know for sure, but it kind of hinted at that, and I kind of felt like that's what they were trying to do, but that'd be cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it says to look out for some ingredients on the ride. So that can, that's the cranberry can, that's the tunnel, won't be the only like oversized
Yeah, it looks like
household
there's like
item.
looks like
Yeah.
there's a ketchup bottle back there. It looks like there might be a knife in some kind of stuffing box.
Yeah. It
I'm
says
just
there'll be a
looking.
rolling pin, there's a stuffing box, a whisk, a chicken
Yeah.
timer. I think the bottle you're seeing is a dairy bottle.
Oh, that could very well be it too. It looks like a Knott's K on it. I don't know why.
Because it says Cokes on it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they're stealing the Knott's K? I don't know. Whatever. So that's gonna be a nice little addition. They needed something in that area because it was just so open ever since Pilgrim's Plunge closed. It was just like nothing there. And now you're kind of expanding that Thanksgiving section a little bit. And adding something for the kids. I'd like to see, I want to see do they have a height limit on this yet?
I think it said 38, but I'm not looking at it right
Oh, that would be interesting because, having little kids now, I was kind of
now. Yep,
looking at
38.
the holiday world lineup is like there's some stuff for kids to do, but like it's more water park stuff.
Yeah, I actually had the same revelation when we were looking at places to go, where my daughter's a little too big for Howler, and yeah, she probably would do okay on Raven, but then that would be it.
Yeah.
There's not many flat rides, so like this does add something for that tweener segment.
Yeah. So it says one train with 10 two-person coaches, so 20 people, 77 feet tall, 1 minute and 5 seconds, 37 miles an hour. I'm not seeing with a 38-inch minimum height. So no, that's exactly the number you want to be in. That puts it. I've learned these numbers a lot more again. That puts it in the Snow White Seven Dwarfs category. That at Disney World, 38 inches is Snow White. So Robert's right around there. He hit 36. He's clearly above 36, but he's right in between that 36 and 38 route, and it depends on what shoes he's wearing, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's kind of like a good addition, good family addition, and kind of like does a little bit more for like the older kids, where it's kind of like that step up where it's hard to go from Howler to Raven. Like that's a big jump. Like Raven's a legit ride. Like it's in the Thrilling 32 sometimes, so it's a legit ride. So having that in between coaster, probably that's it. It's a boomerang. I know they were tweeting out the other day with boomerangs and stuff, but I don't think that one came as a big surprise to many people today. The name, I think, was the biggest surprise, which it's campy. It's campy. I'm like, if you had to grade or at least rank the two rides announced today based only on their name, I think Good Gravy takes it. I don't know. It's campy. It's ridiculous to the point of kind of being funny. So, and I also like how Holiday World today tweeted out after Cedar Point announced it, be like, hey, we're gonna copy and paste some stuff here with your spike. Ours is gonna be a little bit shorter though. So that was kind of funny too. Like I enjoy witty banter and repartee between the parks.
It's nice to see them kind of like jump on each other a little bit.
So I think overall, I think people are going to be disappointed. There's no question based on the comments. Also, I just want to say this too before we leave. I am absolutely shocked at the number of people who are shocked by the idea that a roller coaster stats and complete layout and everything could be leaked before the announcement day. Like every single comment's like, I can't believe this has happened. There's no way that this happened. There's no way that this leaked. And in my mind, it's the opposite. I am more shocked when something isn't leaked the day before. If you can make it to announcement day with nobody knowing what it is, I am absolutely shocked when that happens. That's when I'm shocked. So I don't understand the shock and awe that in Cedar Point especially had Gatekeeper leaked completely, had Valraven leaked completely. Like I'm like I don't know if every enthusiast is brand new here. Like I don't know if they don't know what's going on, but it is more likely more that it is leaked than it's not being leaked. Like I feel like that's more of the norm.
Yeah,
Hell, we leaked the one year the entire Six Flags schedule. That Six Flags put everything on their website and just didn't link the pages. And if you just typed in like 2024 slash Great America, you could find what the new ride was. Like it was in their source code and stuff that you could just look and see and like, oh, it's this, it's this, it's this. They put everything on the website like 2 days before, which is what companies do. They don't have people working at 8 a.m., throwing websites together and writing press releases. Everything's there.
yeah,
So
they just make the link active.
I'm shocked by the shock of this being leaked. Like, I'm like, okay, this is what happens with coasters. They're always leaked.
Yeah. I'm gonna be a jerk and say I kind of like the name High Point and Gravy Boat better than Good Gravy and Top Thrill too.
Well, I don't know. I'm over. Like, if it wasn't a space theme on Dragster, then I don't care what they call it. Like, call it. It's just weird that everyone calls it Dragster, and now you're forcing people to call it Top Thrill. Nobody has used Top Thrill like in the last 20 years. Like nobody calls it Top Thrill Dragster. Like people call it Dragster. So now you're forcing people to call it Top Thrill, and it's just funny to me. Like I'm like, what is going on here? I don't know.
I don't know. And well, enthusiasts do like their nicknames for rides.
Yeah. So now it's TTT. It's T3 is what it is. And good thing Kentucky Kingdom got rid of T3. So now you can call this T3.
Right. I'm going to start calling it TDs.
TT's. Why not? Why not at this point? You know what? You could add some really good theming with that, I think. I think we should go all in on that name and really add some really good theming with it. Like that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. So anyway, on that note, I think that we're going to continue more stuff this week with Dorney Park. They're announcing on the 10th, so we have a few more days here before they officially jump in on this. And we got some ideas there of what that might be. So we'll look at that next. So big Coasternet birthday, 25 years old today. Congrats, Jeff. Congrats to everyone at Coasternet. Congrats to, oh man, all the people that have made this site what it is. I'm going to just name the important ones. Me, Daniel, Devin obviously is the one who started it. So Devin, thank you for starting this nonsense and letting us run. And then all of you guys, Jesus, Danny and Jeff and Brian Bass, I guess. I don't know. I begrudgingly say that name. Kane Donis was there with us. Dwayne Sponseller kind of built the whole site for us. So big 25 year anniversary, and thank you to everyone out there for and I'm forgetting a whole bunch of older people like Ryan Shroud and Matt Ridzik, and there's a whole bunch of old school names there.
Old form going, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't mention them. So but yeah, so big 25 years, and we're gonna be doing more. Maybe we'll try and bring the band back together one last time with Devin and get some of the new people with the old people and see what happens and have hilarity ensue. That's what we do here at Coasternet. So as always, I am Andrew Barczyk from Chicago, Illinois.
I'm Jeff Goodman from Long Island, New York.
Right on, Ride Warriors.
See you next time.